Well, that was a tough week, especially for me. Me right now was it's just so sad. Like we lost in against a we lost to Switzerland and we're out of the World Cup. So anyway, welcome to my round. I mean quarterfinal predictions of this World Cup. So you might be wondering why I'm not here. It's because right now I'm busy doing something and yeah, I need like to I need some time and yeah, so let's get right into it. Alright, let's start off with France against Morocco. So, with France, they uh, got out of the group stages and then they beat Sweden in the round of 32, and then had to play Paraguay in the round of 16. Now, this Paraguay team have beaten Germany in the round of 32, so it was gonna be a bit of a tough fight for France. But France beat them 1-0 thanks to a Kylian Mbappe goal. He's really playing really well this tournament. He is challenging for the Golden Boot. So yeah, he is playing really well, and yeah, France are in the quarterfinals, and every player is playing really well for France. I feel that France might be one of the favorites to win, as well as Dembele is also scoring some goals. Olisa is getting the assists, and Doué is also good, as well as Mbappe. So yeah, now moving on to Morocco, they finished second in their group. Then they had to play Netherlands. They beat them on penalties, and then they had to play France in the round of 16. Well, I mean Canada in the round of 16, and then so they took care of business and slapped them up 3-0. And yeah, now they're in the quarterfinals. So Morocco, Saibari is playing really well as Onahi, Hakimi, Brahim Diaz, Rahimi, Yassine Bono, etc. Morocco, the only African team in the competition so far, I think this game will be very close because both teams are playing really well. But France are just the best team in the world. This is a repeat of the 2022 World Cup semi-final, by the way. So I think that this game, I think France are just gonna win this game, 2-1. So yeah, I think France will win this game. So yeah, now let's move on to our next prediction. Alright, so moving on to Spain versus Belgium. So, Spain, let's start off with Spain. So Spain, they got out of the group stages, then beat Austria in the round of 32, and then played against Portugal in the round of 16. So this Portugal team finished second in their group behind Colombia, and then they beat Croatia in the round of 32, and then they're playing in the round of 16. This will be Ronaldo's last World Cup dance because Spain scored a last-minute winner, Mikel Merino, and beat them 1-0. I think Spain just played better because Portugal they were playing really good defense. They just needed to finish better. So yeah, I think Spain got that deserved win, and unlucky Ronaldo for not winning a World Cup. So yeah, so let's start off. So Spain, Mikel Merino scored the last-minute winner, and I feel like Spain are playing really well. They haven't conceded a single goal because they have really good defense with Kubarsi and Kukureya, and a really good goalkeeper Unai Simon. He's proving the haters wrong, and their midfield is just insane with Pedri, Rodri, and Fabian. Also probably Dani Olmo, or of course Lamine Yamal, and Oyarzabal is getting the goals for Spain, which is good. So yeah, I think that this game is very tight because Belgium they got out of the group stages, then they pulled off what they did back in 2018 against Japan, a comeback against Senegal, 3-2 in the dying moment of the game. But then they had to play USA. Now this game had already started off with some drama because Florian Balogun, he got a red card in the game before, and then US and Donald Trump appealed to FIFA, so he could cancel the red card, and that's what happened. Trump and FIFA appealed. Well, and then they got the Uno reverse after that because USA got destroyed 4-1. And yeah, USA just learned their lesson by losing 4-1. I thought they were gonna be a dark horse because they were playing really well, but then they just reminded us of how USA actually is. So yeah, I think Belgium played really well in that game. That was their best performance by far this World Cup. And yeah, this will be Kevin De Bruyne's last World Cup as well as Lukaku's. And the other players like Jeremy Doku, Leandro Trossard are playing really well for Belgium. This game is going to be tight because Belgium have woken up. The World Cup did not start off the best, but I think that they're playing really well right now. That this game is going to be a tight game. Can they overturn against Spain? Because Spain have not conceded a single goal. Well, unfortunately for Belgium, I think Spain will win this game 1-0. So yeah, that's my prediction for the game, and Spain advance. Sorry, Belgium. Now let's move on to our next prediction: Norway against England. So moving on to Norway against England. So this game will be very highly anticipated because both Erling Haaland and Harry Kane have been scoring the goals for their country, and they're both coming up clutch in these moments. So yeah, let's start off with Norway, which they finished second in their group and played Ivory Coast in the round of 32, which they beat them 2-1, and then they had to play Brazil. That was the bad part. They had to play Brazil. Many people, including me, predicted Brazil would win, but I knew that it was going to be a tough fight for Brazil because they've never beaten Norway in their entire history. Well, and now the streak continues because Erling Haaland scored first. A great header to dunk on Gabriel again, and then Haaland scored again. Long range shot that boomed into the bottom corner. Well, and although Neymar did get a consolation goal, it wasn't enough, and Brazil are out of the World Cup. Yeah, I really feel bad for Rafinha, Neymar, Vini Jr. Because they're playing really well in this tournament, and yes. So my prediction completely wrong. I predicted Spain against Brazil, and now I'm cooked. So yeah. Norway, probably the dark horse of this tournament. Haaland is being scoring goals. Also great players like Antonio Nusa, Martin Odegaard, Alexander Sorloth, etc. They have a really good attack that could definitely capitalize on England's weak defense. Here's why. So England, they got out of the group stages, then barely beat DR Congo in the round of 32, and that's by Mexico. Well, that game was, Mexico absolutely dominated that game. They had 23 shots compared to England's 6. And that game was just unlucky for Mexico. It ended 3-2 to England, and Mexico were just unlucky in that game. They deserved more, and they will be going out as a very respected national team. So yeah. Now let's talk about England. So Harry Kane is like, I really feel bad for him because he has to carry this England team. It just Kane and Bellingham are carrying this team, as well as. But the other players are just not playing that well. I know Rashford's playing well, Anthony Gordon's playing well, Elliot Anderson's playing well. It's just that the other players are not performing at the highest level. Their defense is, I would say, is their weakest position, but I think their strongest defenders Ezri Konsa. So I think that Norway's attack can definitely capitalize. And you know what? I'm tempted to go for an upset, and I will go for an upset. I think Norway are gonna shock again and beat England 2-1. So yeah, that's my prediction. England's defense is just not that trusted, so I think Norway will win 2-1. And now let's move on to our final prediction: Switzerland against Argentina. Okay, now moving on to Argentina versus Switzerland. Now Argentina are playing very hard to trust them right now because I know they got out of the group stage. Messi is absolutely carrying them. That's why he's the GOAT. And yeah, they beat Cabo Verde in the round of 32, but just slightly. Cabo Verde played really well in that game, and then they had to play Egypt. Well, the game did not start well for Argentina. They were down 2-0, but then they did an insane comeback and beat them 3-2. So yeah, Argentina. Yeah, many people are saying that they're paying the refs. Like, come on, it's football. Anything can happen. I don't know why Messi haters are saying that he's playing the refs. He's obviously not. Messi just the goal. He's just too good. Come on, y'all have to accept that he's the GOAT. So yeah, and Argentina playing really well. Messi, of course, is playing really well. Well, it's Enzo Fernandez, Julian Alvarez, etc. They're playing really well, Argentina, right now. And yeah, also there's like Cuti Romero and Lisandro Martinez are also scoring the goals. Yeah, so let's move on to our next game, our next team, Switzerland, which might be the dark horse of the tournament again. because they got out of the group stages, then and beat Algeria in the round of 32. But then here's when it became sad for me. I'm Colombian, by the way, and we had to play Switzerland, and here's what happened. The game finishes 0-0. In extra time, there were no goals scored, and it went to penalties. While Colombia, we were dominating the game. We had more shots on them, but we did have less possession than them, which is just a bit bad. I mean, yeah, but then the game went to penalties, and we lost on penalties. Yeah, I'm so sad. Well, not as sad as in Colombia versus England in 2018, but I feel like we need to work on our penalties. Like, I thought we were gonna do well in this World Cup, but it wasn't meant to be. This sport is football is the cruelest sport in the world. It's just so sad. So yeah, I think that we played really well until the game against Switzerland, where we lost. So yeah, but still proud of all of those players they were giving everything in those games. So yeah, but Switzerland, congratulations on making it to the quarterfinals. But they could be Argentina, because they were playing good against us, because players like Brel and Bolo, Granit Xhaka, well, they are missing their best player, Johan Manzambi. He's injured. So yeah, so Switzerland might actually cause an upset, because they were playing well against us, and they could play well against Argentina. So I think this game is going to go to penalties, 2-2. And who wins on penalties? Unfortunately, since Argentina have Dibu Martinez in goal, I think Argentina are going to win on penalties. Sorry, Switzerland, but Argentina will win and advance to the semifinals. So yeah, those are my quarterfinal predictions, and we'll see you for the semifinal predictions.